Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and I have to be honest with you, this one is completely different to anything that I've done before for two or three reasons. I received an email a couple of months ago from the people at Dehancer asking if I would like to review their product. Now this came completely out of the blue, bearing in mind that I'm a very small YouTube channel. My initial response was, is this some sort of scam? I needn't have worried because the lovely Victoria in the PR department at Dehancer quite quickly put all my concerns to one side, and after a couple of to and fro emails I decided I'd give it a go and see what their plugin Dehancer is all about. Now, for those of you that shoot film, and for those of you that used to shoot film but would like to emulate the results that you used to get with film, this may well be the solution for you. For anybody that is shooting film and bearing in mind the ongoing costs involved in shooting film, bearing that in mind, Dehancer is, as far as I'm concerned, the best film emulation software on the market today. It is a plugin. It's available for DaVinci Resolve, which is the version that I have been kindly given. It's available for Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro on the video side. And as well as that, and this is another big bonus for stills photography, you can get plugins for Lightroom, Photoshop, Affinity Photo, and what's the other one? Capture One. Excuse me for looking down at notes, there's an awful lot that I need to cover. You can download the free trial version to see whether you like it or not, and if you decide it's something that you're interested in, here's the painful bit. It will cost you a one-off lifetime license for it is $400, which is probably about the same in the UK with regard to pounds at the moment anyway. So £400 is your investment. Now that might sound like a lot, but bear with me because this will do an awful lot for you. It's worth me mentioning that the license is per product, if you like. So if you want to purchase the license to use Dehancer with DaVinci Resolve, which is what I've been using, then that is one license, $400. If you wanted to use it for Final Cut Pro or Premiere, then that is another license. So that would be another £400. Now that might sound extortionate, but I do believe that this product is aimed at really quite specific markets. If you are a cinematographer, not just a videographer, then the ability to emulate film using this plugin is, to be honest with you, second to none. And each license that you buy comes with what Dehancer refer to as seats, in other words, workstations. So one license, if you purchase the license for, let's say, Photoshop, then two people working separately can use that one license. Dehancer was born in 2014 by Pavel Kosenko, who had been wanting to develop software to emulate film for many years, and through liaisons and associations with other software designers, they've eventually come up with Dehancer, and it's an extremely sophisticated plugin. Because I am a complete idiot when it comes to video, I really use it to get my message across. I don't try and be very creative. It took me 3 or 4 attempts to work out how to activate the license that they'd sent me. But once I'd got to that stage, really, it's so easy to use that even an idiot like me can use it very easily and very quickly. I'm going to show you a couple of films rather than videos that I've taken. The first one is only about 2 or 3 minutes long, and it's called Follow the Stream, and it was shot in my local park here at Sefton in Liverpool, about a mile away from where I live. So we'll play that one now, and then I'll come back to you. Well, there we are. That was my attempt at being creative for once with a film. It was put through Dehancer, and the film stock that I chose to emulate it was one of the Kodak cinema films. I think it's Vision 3, I'm not quite sure, I can't remember now. It's one of the Kodak Vision film emulsions, and I actually reduced the grain effect probably a little bit too much. You'll have to let me know when you see the video through the YouTube compression as to whether you can see anything or not. But if I were to do it again, I probably would not reduce the grain size, because I think it needs to be pretty much as they've got the default in their plugin to make it visible, easily visible on YouTube. Now, in the second video that I'm going to show you in a few minutes when I've finished my waffling, that is a sequence of clips that I took on the waterfront in Liverpool, around the Albert Dock area and on the waterfront, and each clip has been processed through different film stock. So I've put the information regarding the film stock inside each clip, so you get an idea of the range of films that you can select to work through Dehancer. There's 60 odd, and they're expanding them all the time. Now the good thing about it is that they've not just taken a wild guess as to what the film should look like when it's converted. They've gone through it scientifically. You'll notice that a number of clips in this second sequence are actually based on expired film stock. So it just goes to show you the kind of depth they go into. Now, don't think, by the way, that if you choose one particular film stock, let's say, for example, Fuji velvia, that you are stuck with the defaults. There are tremendous ranges of adjustments that you can make with regard to grain size, with regard to the exposure, both in highlights, midtones and shadows. You're provided with a histogram, so that's a massive boon to people taking it seriously. And you can fine-tune the result to your own particular taste. As well as the full package, the £400 package for video work, you can, if you so wish, download a license for stills packages, in which case that is just under $200, 200 UK pounds, and that, as I say, is fully compatible with Lightroom, Photoshop, Affinity Photo, etc. And then on top of all that, if you wanted one particular aspect of the plugin, you might just like something called bloom or film grain. Those are available as separate licenses again, and they would cost you $99, roughly the same, 99 UK pounds at the moment. For those of us that are not used to using film, the terminology is, there are two different terms as well as grain. Grain, I think, speaks for itself. Now, the clever thing about the folks at Dehancer is that they don't just make an overlay of the grain, which is rather similar to what you would get done in Photoshop or Affinity. The image within Dehancer is actually made up of the grain, so it's much more realistic. And on top of that, the grain varies depending on whether it's in shadow, highlight or midtones. So it's much more realistic and much more akin to actual film stock. Now, apart from grain, you've got something called bloom. Now, bloom is really the glow that you can get around highlights. So if you do a nighttime scene, you might have candle lights, or you might have fluorescent lighting around nightclubs, that kind of thing. Then if you add bloom, it gives you a wonderful glow around bright objects. The other one that they focus on is something called halation. Now, halation is when you get a sort of red outline surrounding strongly contrasting edges of objects. So I don't think any of my clips would have been suitable for adding halation, and I didn't bother for that reason. A lot of people are using mobile devices to produce videos now, not just selfies. If you are an iOS user, if you are a Apple, Mac, iPhone owner and user, then Dehancer is also available for that. So Dehancer for iOS is a free download, and you can try it out. But once you've exported more than 10 images, you've got a 10 image limit. Once you want to go above 10 images, then you've got to consider buying a subscription, which will be $15 from month to month, or $8 a month when you purchase a $100 annual subscription. I'm very impressed. Now, the folks at Dehancer haven't required me to say anything specific. They did specifically ask me to be honest. So I am going to be honest. Is it something that I would consider buying for my stills photography? Now, the answer to that is probably not. Based on the cost of the plugin, I don't think I would use it sufficiently to warrant the outlay. If, on the other hand, I was a film shooter and I wanted to, at long last, give the most accurate representation of the film look using digital media, then simply getting rid of the outlay on your film costs and your processing costs, I would certainly consider it, because the end result, I am sure, is the best that you can get. It's better than any of the effects that you can get through the standalone software like Photoshop and Affinity and what's the other one they do it for? Capture One. If you are a cinematographer, then to be honest with you, I think it's a no-brainer. I can't imagine that many people wanting to balk at the cost when you bear in mind the final results that you can get. These effects are extremely subjective, and it's going to vary from one person to another. One creator will like one particular look of, let's say, Kodak Vision film stock. Another person would choose something completely different, and believe me, there are some weird and wonderful ones in there. It's extremely subjective, but the beauty of Dehancer is that it gives you the flexibility to either enhance or dehance the overall effect in the final presentation. It's as simple as that. So from the point of view of recommendation, in terms of its quality, 100% I would recommend it. Ease of use, I would recommend it. In terms of price, I would equally recommend it for those people wanting to get rid of the outlay on film, and indeed for cinematographers, because I think the results will speak for themselves when you try it. Stills photographers, not convinced, but it's each to their own, to be honest with you. Anyway, let's have a look at the second clip that I've put together down on the waterfront, and I'll talk to you again after we've watched that. Well, there you are. You've seen two films, in inverted commas, done by a not very creative individual, i.e. me, to demonstrate the kind of images that you can generate using Dehancer. And I think that the results speak for themselves. I would like to thank Dehancer for giving me the opportunity to try it. As I say, I'm not receiving any payment for this. I don't have any affiliate links with them. I've just put it through the computer, used it, tried it out, and that's my opinion. But I hope those of you that know me will appreciate that this has been done by a video novice, which at the end of the day may well be a target audience for Dehancer. It really is very, very easy to use and very flexible. Until the next time, I will say take care of yourselves, enjoy your photography and videography, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye for now.